3, 2, 1, roll the footage. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Simon Severino, your host. And today we have best-selling author of Energetic Selling and Marketing, and we will unpack how you can create more by working less. Welcome, everybody, Lenka Lutonska.
Thank you for having me, Simon.
So cool to have you here. And tell us, what are you currently creating?
Funny thing, nothing. Because I've had a quite big output in my business. We welcomed many new entrepreneurs into our higher level programs. So I focused for a few weeks on service and simply integration, so I can go more into creative mode. It's not to say that we're not serving or selling, we are, but in terms of my creativity, I'm in integration period.
Oh, that's beautiful. First guest who says nothing. Ah, what a relief. And describe us. So you have integration periods. What are the other periods? What's your framework for this?
Well, think about this. We've been taught so much that as entrepreneurs, we need to go, and be full on all the time. And not that I don't agree with that. That's one way of doing it, but it doesn't suit many people. And specifically for me as a woman and for many women, it's not healthy, because that going, and output can create a lots of even burnout and a lots of feast and famine period. So in terms of creative input or output, it's simply two periods. You're either giving or you're integrating. So to me, it's always, and that's how I perceive the growth of the business. It's expansion. We intend, we put all the focus into it, we create and we put it out there. It's expansion, and we do need a little bit of integration to accumulate the wins, to learn from the experience, to basically be ready in all ways for the next level of expansion. So it's expansion and a little bit of integration, expansion, integration, etc.
I love this model. And it is definitely something that we have not discussed so much, which is probably what you are seeing out there. People think in expansion all the time, but we do not take so much time to really digest, savor, learn, nourish, replenish, right? So let's go there. How do you see that it's time for integration, and how do you do it with your team?
I fully trust my intuition, or if you like, I developed over years the trust in my intuition, and learned to sharpen it. So I know when is the time to go. Now, this is, of course, when we go on really intuitive entrepreneurship. Of course, my team need to be a little bit more flexible, and they are. Bless them all. I have incredible team. So the how we deal with this, because what it means is, because I'm going on intuitive ideas, we do have a basic structure and basic outline what we want to achieve in the next quarter, in the next year, even for the next promotion, etc. But they all know that throughout they need to learn to be quite reactive to what comes through me. So right now, for instance, they are working themselves, because I'm in integration period. They're working themselves on. They created Black Friday deals, and they're selling, etc., etc. But I'm in integration period when we go into the next output. So this is very much driven by me. Does it make sense? Uh,
Yes.
so so yes, so flexibility is required, and asking for good people, hiring good people who enjoy working in this way.
And for example, now you say Black Friday, now it's Black Friday, everybody goes out, hey, this offer, that discount, etc. And I feel like, no, I don't do that.
Right.
Why should the seasonality and the intensity of my business be around, some dates that somebody thought are the right dates? What is this thing even, Black Friday? I don't care.
I so agree. I so agree. And there are so many myths, like December is not a good month to sell. Well, news, I know I had plenty of record Decembers, or many people I know where intention goes, energy flows. So quite right. There are so many unwritten rules in the marketplace that we're expected to follow, right?
Yeah, and it's interesting you say December. For us, it's the first week of January is when dozens of people call me because it's this time of the year when they think about what to do less and what to do more. They get rid of old stuff, they redefine themselves, they think bigger, and then they go, "Oh, and I want a mentor for this. I want somebody who to stay on top of this and to realize the dream." It's maybe the beginning of January, so it's not the time where most people say, now, put everything in there. It's the quietest time.
Yes, yes. So it's individual. It's up to us, I believe. So that to me, what is intuitive entrepreneurship, to really go a little more on inside, as in do even client research internally. How would I want to do things? How would I enjoy my product service? Who would I want to serve, without necessarily validating it outwardly, which is a little counterintuitive approach to marketing and selling, but it certainly works for a certain type of people, certainly for me and clients that I'm serving. Yes.
And now I guess many people are go like, oh, okay, but I don't trust my intuition. How can I start trusting? I have intuition, I just don't trust it. How can I learn to trust it?
It's actually easy. It's a little bit like muscle. So first and foremost, we want to uh, persuade, convince, assure our conscious logical minds, because of course, if we're entrepreneurs, we are intelligent and we have a very logical mind. We want to perceive our logical mind that it's that there is a real value in learning to listening to our intuition. And there are plenty of studies on the power of intuition in entrepreneurship. In fact, one of the Harvard studies confirmed that executives overall give as much credit to their intuition as 80% of their success. Warren Buffett is one of those business moguls who spends a heck lot of time in thinking. His calendar is often blank, or it has hair appointment, but he spends plenty of time in thinking because he essentially he accumulates and he practices his intuitive listening in the marketplace. So there are plenty of studies. So I think it's important for us first to acknowledge that there's actually value in it, because it's very easy to believe and trust in the value of strategy. We have numbers, we have trends, we have our conscious logical mind can understand that. But it's intuitive listening, energy, it's immeasurable. So if we can sell ourselves that idea first, that's helpful. And then it's about consciously finding even a few minutes of time in a day where we actively are listening to our intuitive guidance. So I have this, if you like, 3-step formula for it that is encouraging intuitive thinking in a very healthy way, or 3-step process that can take together 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever time you have. And in that first part of that process, you simply offload whatever is happening in your mind, either on a paper, simply offload, because there's so much happening in our mind. So, and a lot of those thoughts are unconscious, so it creates a lot of mess. But also, if there are some unresolved doubts, fears that are simmering in our mind, they still influence us whether we want it or not. So it's much better to offload them on paper or through visualization. Okay, I can see you, I hear you, I release you, but to simply clear our mind a little bit. So it can take a few minutes, whatever you like, but simply have intention to offload whatever needs to be offloaded from the mind. So that's the first part of the process. Second part
And
of
when
this.
you say, I love it, and when you say, I release you,
Mhm.
is it, because I guess it's not super easy for everybody to get what is release you. Do I Do I accept and let go? Do I just don't think about it? Do I say, all right, you're here, but I don't care? How do I
I,
release really something?
I hear you. So in here, because I'm wrapping this process in a very simplistic terms, but in this moment when I say I see you, I hear you, I acknowledge you, and I release you, what I'm essentially acknowledging that that thought, whatever it might be, I'm not sure if I have enough resources for that. There is not enough time for that, or I'm scared that it won't work out. Nobody will buy. Whatever those fears, doubts, and unhelpful thoughts are, I'm acknowledging that that's what they are. Thoughts. Thoughts are energy. They're not truth. They're not me. They're always alternative way of looking at things. Always. So that's what I'm acknowledging here. That yes, this is happening in my mind. I'm thinking those thoughts, but those thoughts do not represent who I am and what I can or cannot do, their energy. And therefore, I'm dissociating myself. Therefore, I can release that thought. Releasing is
Mhm.
simply intention. Could be done through visualization, like, I don't know, a balloon with that thought and you burst that balloon. It could be done in any way, or simply just uh, acknowledging this and saying I'm releasing it because I acknowledge there is always alternative way of looking at this. So you're happy to let go.
Thank you. Now we can go to the second step.
So the second step is about simply visualizing the successful outcome, whatever it might be. If you like, for few minutes, it's enough to do it for 2-3 minutes. Simply think about the vision, or why am I in this entrepreneurship, the highest vision, or successful outcome of the next project. Essentially, what we want to do here is get our entire neurology and energy into the energy of success. And this is very important because we are, you said at the beginning, Simon, that, oh, but I don't trust my intuition, or how can I trust it, or what is it? We all are intuitive listeners. We all are receiving pretty much all the time some intuitive guidance, but that intuitive guidance will always match our energy. In other words, if, let's say, I feel desperate, needy, stuck, lost, and I'm desperately from this place, I'm looking for the answer. What's the next step I should do to get me out of this situation? I may have an idea. I will have some internal guidance, but application of that idea will always result in more of feeling stuck, lost, desperate, needy, etc. Intuitive guidance always matches the energy or the emotion, if you like. Therefore, it's quite important to uh, when we are using intuition for entrepreneurship and for business growth, of course, to get ourselves into that higher level state. And the best one is the energy of success, whatever it means to us, that huge vision we have, or that super successful outcome of the next project, until we feel it in our body. So from there, when you feel it in your body, then then we go to the third step, and that is simply for few minutes listening what comes to me after I pose a question. Okay, I get it. This is the outcome. I'm feeling really good. This is who I'm meant to be. Now, what is my part in this? That's it. And listen for a few minutes. That's how I know really developed and sharpened my intuitive listening, and it helped me hugely, as well as many people. So it's active listening, and in that short period of time, we may get plenty of answers that we already logically know. Sure, we may get some answers that sound even illogical, unreasonable, risky, etc, and it's important to not to discard them but stay with them. And sometimes we get nothing, literally nothing, and that's okay too. But the idea is just to, for a few minutes, listening to that intuitive guidance, and that's how we enhance it massively.
Beautiful. And where do you take your inspiration from? Are there particular books that give you inspiration?
Well, yes, I, of course, like everyone, I love to read books, but my biggest inspiration is my clients and life. It's rich. rich with inspiration. Challenges are the greatest source of inspiration and growth, I find, for me and clients. But in terms of the books, of course, I've read plenty of the business books, but I think the those that made the biggest impact on me are a little bit, for me personally, more on a spiritual side. So, for instance, Napoleon Hill's Outwitting the Devil
Mm.
is very, very, very good book that really unwraps how to deal with fear very successfully. So that book is brilliant and helped personally me very much in a business, because of course dealing with fear, it's essential.
Yes.
And
Outwitting the Devil.
Outwitting the Devil, yes, excellent book. Everyone knows his Think and Grow Rich, but
Yeah.
this book is equally brilliant. And then The Science of Getting Rich, Wallis de Wattles. It's a tiny little book, excellent for reframing or shifting the way we think about money. Again, for will not be fit for everyone, but for many people, I know that it got me completely out of thinking in terms of lack, you know, unaffordability, etc. That in early stages prevented me from investing in my business, taking those risks, etc., etc. So those are a couple of books that made a huge impact on me.
Wow. And you have just written a book, Energetic Selling and Marketing. How did writing this book change you?
Um, oh, it's been incredible experience. The book has been actually written a couple of years ago now, and so it's been out there for a little while. Writing of the book, it just had to be. It was one of those experiences when the book was asked to be written through me for quite a while, and I said, "All right, then let's do it." So I did it in quite intensive form. I wrote it in space of 5 months. So had to make a space for it in the business, etc., etc. The experience was exhilarating, and at the same time I was coming up against me all the time. Is this good enough? Is this, I cannot put this in the right way, etc., etc. So it's been a really good experience for me again uh, to practice what I preach, essentially. And I'm very happy to say that it's making its mark amongst entrepreneurs, especially women. So it's doing what it's meant to do. So I'm very grateful.
And so how is now the this phase of informing the world about it and sharing it with the world? How do you navigate that part?
Yes. Well, in terms of the structure, we have a lovely little book funnel, so the book is going quite wide. And that's how I know it makes its mark, because we're getting plenty of messages every day about the book. It's going to be translated into my native language and published in my Slovakia is my home country next year. So we will
Congrats.
see
Yeah.
what else. But right now there is a lot of scope even with what we have, and you know I just know that as long as I continue to love my clients, love what I do, and just going with the inspiration, it will continue scaling, because it's been growing. The book sales and the client base and what we're creating with the clients. So, I mean, that's my formula. As much as I love my clients and my vision more than my fears or doubts or anything else that might be happening, we're good.
I love it. And what would you share about people who are maybe just thinking about writing their first book? Uh, sh- is it worth it? What to expect?
100%. Bloody go for it. Go for it. Yes, I mean, I don't think there is a, a must. book is not a must, just like nothing else is complete must that you cannot succeed without the book. It's not like that. But if you genuinely feel you have a message that you want to share, purely logically speaking, there is no better advertisement or marketing than the book. It's the, I know from my own experience, so many readers of the book, we don't even have to have a conversation, and oftentimes they're ready to sign up even for 10, 20,000 pounds program because they got so much value out of the book. So it's massive rapport builder, massive, value. You show who you are. So only just purely from that perspective, it's invaluable. And of course, it's one of those, if you like, strategies in business that can go really, really wide. So if you're the type of lighthouse entrepreneur that want to serve many people, I think book is one of the most wonderful ways that you can sell to masses and serve masses. So I just go for it. It's don't aim for perfectionism because that will drive you crazy. I'm a little bit of recovering perfectionist.
Yeah.
That will drive you crazy. But set an intention, freaking do it. You will be rewarded for the rest of your entrepreneurial career, I believe. Yes.
And one personal question, because I am coming out with my first book in February, so in 3 months my first book comes out, and I'm super excited. I have no idea what to expect. So what can I expect? Will people write me emails, send me letters? What to expect from a book?
All of it. Oh, Simon, I'm so happy for you. And yes, it's exhilarating, all of it. And you know what to expect? How about you make up your mind? What do you want out of it? Honestly, just make up your mind. How will you know that it's going to be incredibly successful book, that it's fulfilling its purpose? So you have an image and it'll work in reverse. Maybe it's a little bit of woo-woo, but I know it works for me. So it might work for you too.
I love this. You can nominate one person. When everybody zigs, this person is zagging. But from your perspective, they are doing the right thing. Who do you nominate?
You know what? I really like, there's so many people, but Carl Bryant, founder of Six Figure Coach magazine, he has got excellent newsletter that I love to read, and it's a really type of person that zigs when everyone else zags. Very hilarious, very educational, daily newsletter. On the top of the everything else amazing stuff that he's doing in the world. So that's why I'm nominating Carl Bryant.
Thank you. And when you look forward now, last quarter of this year, and you look forward to the next year, what excites you moving forward?
So many things. Christmas is coming up with family. It's the most magical time. Next year, I mean, work of course always excites me. My clients always excite me. Next year, we have got publishing events in my native country that excites me. I mean, there's so many things. I'm excited person. So so many. My puppies excite me. So many things. I'm easily excitable, so we can be sitting here for a very long time.
I love it. Yes. Uh, let's do this with your next book also again. And if people say, "Oh, wow, I love this, and I want to be mentored, coached," where can people find you?
Well, I have a website, lenkalutonska.com. I'm on all social media, and still the really best introduction to that work and intuitive entrepreneurship is the book, Energetic Selling and Marketing. It's full of processes, exercises, and principles of energetic selling and marketing. So we'd love to have you.
Energetic selling and marketing, everybody. And what's your favorite social media if people want to come social media?
I well, is it all right to say that I don't have favorite social media? It's just a different ways to connect. I'm a little bit of Instagram. I do longer trainings of Facebook page. I have a group for readers of my book and people that purchase small courses, support groups. So I'm serving them and networking and supporting them there a little bit. So it's a mixture. It's a mixture.
Love it. Thank you so much. And who should be my next guest?
Why did you take Sarah Negus? She's my colleague for one of my certification programs, and she's very good with energy. So she will give you something different, I believe, to the show or to the readers.
Thank you so much for being here, sharing your journey, your wisdom with us. And please come back soon.
Thank you so much. Huge pleasure.
Avoid trying to do thousands of things that doesn't work. We have 274 templates for your business success. Reach your ambitious goals with one-on-one sprint coach. We double your revenue in 90 days.